Okay, so to what degree do I share Postman's convictions regarding the use of television in the realms of religion, politics, and education? First, I want to quote where he said, "The problem is not that TV presents us with entertaining subject matter, but that all subject matter is presented as entertaining," which is another issue altogether. And that's where we've gotten. We've allowed the TV to become just a source of entertainment. And that's basically what he's saying. I totally agree with that. When he was talking about the show where Ted Koppel mediated a discussion between Henry Kissinger, Robert McNamara, and Elie Wiesel. It was right after a big movie came out the day after about the Holocaust. It was television's chance, I guess, to show that it wasn't just a means of entertainment, that we could actually do something intelligent and educational with it. And by the end of it, it was basically no arguments, no counter arguments, and not really a discussion at all. He says that it's not just time constraints that are at the root of the problem. Thinking on TV leaves the viewer bored. So when we see somebody thinking, we're automatically disconnected from it. So there's nothing more than a performance, basically. Complex talk does not play well on television. When he said that about the Yale University commencement ceremony, where Mother Teresa was overshadowed by Meryl Streep, yet again, of the presidential debates, he said the men were less concerned with giving arguments than with giving off impressions, which is what TV does best. I personally don't even watch TV for those reasons right there, because it's all just who's the prettiest and who's got what and who's got the best stuff, and I want to be that because I want that stuff. In the Orwellian way, culture becomes a prison, will be controlled, and banning individuality. So it's something that we could see coming probably and protest it or oppose it. But in the Huxleyan way, he says, Big Brother does not watch us by his choice, we watch him by ours. We're distracted and we're okay with it. And the Huxleyan world isn't even consciously aware of itself, at least like 90%, I would say. Aldous Huxley believed that we are in a race between education and disaster. Educational system has been dealing with the question, how can we use TVs or PCs or smartphones to control education? And we're at that right now, basically. But they haven't yet gotten to how can we use education to control the TV, the PC, or the phone. If we could grasp the epistemology of media, we might could break free from its grip. He goes on to say that what afflicted the people in Brave New World was not that they were laughing instead of thinking, but that they did not know what they were laughing about and why they had stopped thinking. So emphasizing Huxley may help people take notice to what's really going on around them, and that's just like the people in the Brave New World, we're losing our individuality. We're being told what we like, we're being told who's attractive and what's important. We haven't been put there by acts of a tyrannical government. We did this to ourselves. We've just been too busy entertaining ourselves and being stimulated to even realize it. YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, social media in general uses the influencer marketing method. So models like Kim Kardashian, people like that, they go and they use these products for other people to see, and then so the people want the products because they have it. They don't care about the product. They don't care what the product does. They don't care if it's actually good for them or beneficial at all. All they know is that they want to look like or be like whoever's selling it to them. If we follow J.P. Moreland's 6 steps suggested to avoid the empty self, we could possibly reverse or at least prevent any more cultural conditioning from happening to Christians, because we're supposed to be denying ourselves completely and taking up our cross. So the first thing would be the church would need to recognize the problem, and then the church should disciple intentionally and intellectually, using both faith and reason. We have to choose to be different, so we should equip ourselves to be ready to respond intelligently to the questions and challenges of unbelievers. Individually, we need to be different than the self-absorbed culture all around us by denying ourselves completely. Change our routines or patterns, be intentional about quiet time with God for reflection and meditation. Less visual stimulus and more intelligent discourses would be beneficial, I think. We have to be patient and able to endure. Intellect is not an instant, especially when it is a new concept. So to give up quickly would be to concede to the empty self who loves instant gratification. So we got to take our time and be intentional in this educational process. We must develop a strong and intelligent vocabulary. People will take us more seriously, and we will be more confident in our answers as we've taken time to know how to properly convey our answers, because we will actually believe them ourselves. The establishment of intellectual goals will help us remain diligent in our pursuit of knowledge. Apologetics classes in churches is something I've been wanting to see, and I would like to see it. Additionally, studying the common challenges to Christianity will help us to develop a more thoughtful response to criticism. So we're not such an emotional response when somebody says something, because we don't know how to answer it. If I'd ever gotten an intelligent sounding answer when it came to my questions about God as a child, I don't think I would have spent 20 years of my life saying I was an atheist. It's hard to believe that someone believes something when they have no idea why they believe it. So our emotions are from God. Spiritual maturity is wisdom. Wisdom is not just knowledge. Wisdom is also the ability to properly handle situations as well as our emotions. A wise person understands that how they feel right now may not be how they always feel. That feeling may not even last a whole day. So the last thing I need to say is that we as Christians have to stop only confessing God with our mouths. If we're ashamed that we follow God, do we really even follow Him? I feel this is the reason that God is not taken seriously anymore, and it has been so easy for Him to be pushed further and further out of the picture. People have the idea that a life being a Christian is one that is boring and has no pleasure. So some would call this a misconception, but is it? I argue that it's actually a misrepresentation.